Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a daily tarot oracle reading, Tattle Tales from the Vector. This is a general or collective reading, so parts of it may or may not resonate with you. Take what works for you and just leave the rest. This is also a timely reading, meaning if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it has been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then? That might give you further clarity as to your situation now. All right, we have the Knight of Wands to begin the reading, and this is from the tarot. I did a quick meditation beforehand so that I could display my painting, and this is from the tarot. This is talking about the Knight of Wands is talking about the element of fire. He is a rebel with a cause. And so this is about the wands are made of wood, so they feed they fuel the fire, and it's about taking passionate action. He's got this big red plume on the back of his helmet, and he has, he's full of adventure. You can see that by the pyramids in the background. His horse is representing heartfelt energy and passion, and he's reining that energy in. So this is talking about emotion, and he has learned that he gets much better results if he reins his emotion in and disciplines his mind. The underlying energy from the bottom of the deck, from the oracle, this is my oracle, Tales from the Vector, courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light, and this is the Star energy card. This baby dragon always has an angel with them, and this is talking about the pearl of wisdom. So the star energy, scientists have discovered that stars are made up of a huge amount of water, just as humans are. So you're closer to stardust than you know. This is saying that you are a star, you were meant to shine. This is about having the innocence. Innocence is a choice. A lot of people confuse innocence with naivety, but we're not talking about naivety. We're talking about choosing to be a little bit childlike, so you can be more playful in your energy and carry yourself in that way with childlike wonder. And we have a transition coming in right away at the beginning of the deck. So if you're going through something right now, there's definitely a transition happening. This card has been showing up in a lot of the readings, but in particular in the last few days. And I do feel that's maybe it got a little bit to do with the energy we're in at this time. The Grim Reaper is representing the cycle of death and rebirth. It is not meant to be a scary card that you have to fear that there's some sort of, it's not a prediction of death, nothing like that. What it is just representing the end of one cycle and the beginning of a new. And so the light at the end of the tunnel, if you're going through a difficult time, and there's always how sometimes when you're in a difficult situation, it'll feel like it's never ending, it's never going to end, but there always is a transition at some point. And so this is talking about an older person from the village is coming out and bartering with the Grim Reaper. We don't want your change coming through town. And the younger children are saying, yes, we do. And one of them is handing him a flower, representing, the beauty of rebirth and growth. We do have a king trampled underfoot here. This is not meant to be an actual king or a person. This is just a symbol of systems that have been in place for a long, long time, coming to an end. Sometimes it can even just represent something as simple as, like, maybe you had a hobby and you've always loved to do this, and you just wake up one morning and you say, you know what, I don't feel like doing that anymore. And everybody's like, what are we going to get you for Christmas now? Because everybody knows you love that, and you're shocked too, but you feel, no, I've had enough of it, I'm ready for something new. And there is a lot of new energy on the planet right now, so a lot of people maybe are feeling a little bit that way, which might be why this card is coming out so much lately. We have the hangman. So the hangman is talking about hanging from the tree of knowledge, waiting for, like he wants to see things from every angle. So he's hanging upside down to gain a different perspective of whatever he's looking at. And once he feels, okay, I've looked at it from every angle I want to, then I'll take action. He'll come down from the tree, and you can see that he has enlightenment because his knowledge is like his aura is bright. This also can sometimes represent stuck energy, or you've been waiting a long time for this transition and you keep wondering, is it actually really going to come in? The Four of Wands represents, quite often a lot of people consider this to be the marriage card in tarot. Like it's about commitments, and it's also about having a foundation for new, like for a new foundation for moving into something new. So it fits right into this energy. This can basically say, if it is representing, if you're looking for love or you're with someone and you want to get married, this is saying that, that there's an opportunity for that for sure. This is also talking about the energy of, basically, to put it in terms of today, you have the down payment for your castle. Congratulations, that's a huge accomplishment. And then, but you still have to make you still have to make the payments. And this is also talking about, if you have a new foundation, if this is about marriage, the question has been popped, the answer is yes, and the people are ready to move forward into the marriage. You're working on the wedding, and then remember to put some energy into the marriage, into the relationship itself. A lot of people put a lot of energy into the wedding and not so much into the marriage. And this is, if this isn't about marriage, it can just be talking about making new commitments, having a strong foundation in something new. And we have the Six of Wands here, and the Six of Wands is talking about victory. So this is after a battle or a competition of some sort. The laurel represents that this person is the winner. And notice she's reining in this horse, and this is again representing reining the emotions in and reining you're disciplining your mind so that you make really strong choices. The people in the background, some of them look like a little bit, irritated that this person has won, or that you have won this battle or competition. Like, let's say this was even for a promotion at work and you were the one that clearly stood out. They have to admit that, yes, you did stand out and you deserve it. They just are feeling sad because they didn't get it, probably. And so this energy is, saying you have victory after working towards something, and you're being seen as a leader. And then we have the Magician. So the Magician is talking about being able to create a beautiful garden on earth. He has, his wand represents our thoughts coming down from the heavens, 100% infinite potential to the power of infinity and beyond, and then pointing down to as above, so below. And we have this beautiful garden that is being created here. We have tools on the table. You have all the tools you need. You just need to know which tool to use at which time and how to use them. And that is a matter of putting your energy into it. You may have noticed, if you do have a real garden, that if you leave the tools laying around, they don't get up and do the work for you. So it's the same thing here. To create this beautiful garden, you need to put some effort into it. We do have this heartache coming in. This card has been coming up a lot too. This is about a heartbreaking decision needing to be made. I just feel like a lot of people are under a lot of challenges right now. There's a lot of shifting going on in a lot of the countries, in the economies, and all of that type of energy. There's a lot going on, and people are having I feel like this card can talk about heartache, but it can also be talking about a heartbreaking decision needs to be made. So maybe things aren't going exactly the way you planned. That's not, you're not alone. The energy is very volatile right now. We do have a full moon on top of it, and the full moon is in the sign of Capricorn. So that is where we just had it 2 days ago. So tonight you're going to be feeling that energy as well. Happy July 1st, Canada Day. In Canada here, it's the first is our Canada Day, and there's a lot of people out and about celebrating. It's been it's been a really beautiful day for a lot of it. The morning was a bit damp, and then it's been windy in the last few hours, but there's some beautiful sunshine and lots out there happening, and it's kind of saying that maybe it's time to have, you know, have a little bit lighter energy about you. Just don't take everything quite so seriously. Now, there's 3 swords in this heart here, and it's talking about the energy of, heartbreak and heartache. But these represent, the swords in tarot represent the element of air, and this is your thoughts. This is your discipline of your mind, your mental intelligence. And as I said, this could be a heartbreaking decision needs to be made. And we have, like in matters of love, sometimes this could be a third-party energy dividing a couple. When you look at it the second time, though, you realize, wait a minute, that heart is very big. So it's not necessarily like these are more like maybe nails or something in the heart. It's something that you can recover from. The heart is in the throat, and so sometimes that can be that someone's afraid to speak their truth, or very harsh words have been said. This can be gossip, slander. Sometimes it can even be perjury in court. So and definitely there's something that needs a decision that needs to be made that could potentially be heartbreaking. And we have the Hierophant. So there is justice coming in. When the Hierophant shows up, he has his right hand in the form of a blessing. So it's basically saying, like, this is about bringing justice down from the spiritual realm into the physical. Everything happens on the spiritual realm first, and then it comes down to the physical. So this is talking about traditional structures. So if you're a religious person and you have a church, this could represent people who are in your in your church, the leaders of your church or your religion, the energy of like a pope, bishop, cardinal, guru. This could be rabbi, that sort of energy, the leaders that you look up to in the church. And if you're more on the spiritual side, it could represent just you, prayer and meditation without an intermediary, just going straight to the Most High in that way, bringing that energy down. And it's the Hierophant's job to delegate the responsibility of making sure that God's word is carried out on earth in the traditional structures of legal law on the planet. And the right hand in the form of a blessing is saying, if you're on the right hand of the law, that justice is going to be a blessing for you. If you're on the wrong side of the law, it's basically you're going to have to deal with the consequences now. And we have disappointment in love. So this is talking about regret and remorse. Now, a lot of times this can represent disappointment in love because we do have the cups. This is the energy, if you've ever heard the saying, don't cry over spilt milk. It's because once the milk is in the ground, you're not going to be able to recover it. So you have to just say, okay, this is a loss, accept it, and then move forward. And in matters of love, especially with this card being out, and this being on the marriage card, and the hangman looking at things from all perspectives, this energy sometimes could represent a third-party energy. We have 2 cups with wine, and then we have one with some other liquid. So this can be like that third-party energy, and someone has walked away from the relationship because of this. This is something you're going to have to take as a loss. The best thing you can do is turn around, pick up the 2 cups that are left standing, and walk down that path, cross the bridge over troubled waters here, and go to your castle and heal. And do your best to heal your heart. If you're the person that was not, that was cheated on, do your best to heal your heart, because you deserve all the love in the world. And you are worth the time to do so. It's the castle in the background. You may notice here it looks like it's half standing and half dilapidated, and this energy can be representing, is the glass half full or is the glass half empty? So attitude can go a long way in empowering you to move forward. And we have the King of Wands. Speaking of moving forward, the King of Wands has really been showing up a lot in the readings. And I think that a lot of this energy has to do with a lot of the new energy astrologically. There's a lot going on, bringing in the new energy. And I feel that, the King of Wands is the most visionary of all the kings. He's also considered the sexiest. He's, someone that has a really good personality, optimistic. People appreciate being in his energy because he looks at things from all angles like the Hanged Man. And he's willing to look at a new way of doing things. He's not afraid of that. And so he has the confidence to pull that off. And quite often that gives other people confidence to also move forward in that way. And you can even see he's looking forward here. So he does have this energy on the back of his throne here. And this is the salamanders with their tails in the circle, and the lion represent protection from fire. And I noticed a face on the back of this a while back. There's two eyes, and here's the mustache and the smoke coming out of the mouth. That could just be because he's smoking hot, or it could be because where there's smoke, there's fire. There's one thing to know about the King of Wands. Like most of the fire signs, that they tend to take a little bit longer to settle down and, be committed in a marriage or that type of relationship. They're least likely to be in a traditional relationship. And this energy is just that they really value their independence. And, it's not saying that they can't or they don't. It's just saying that they have a tendency to do it later in life than the other signs. So just keeping that in mind. If there is smoke, there could be fire with this guy. And remember, the figures in the tarot are not gender specific. So the king could be a woman in her masculine energy as well. And just as any of this female could be a male in his feminine energy. We have the emperor. The emperor is sitting right on this energy here. Now, it's interesting because there's been a couple of readings lately where the Emperor and the King of Wands come out, and they're the only two together, and the Hierophant has been coming out a lot. So quite often, if the Emperor comes out, the Emperor represents, like, he's in the major arcana, and he has the qualities of all four kings rolled together because he has the life experience. He wears his armor underneath his robe, and he's ready to grab onto an opportunity, or if he has to fight, he will fight for what he has to fight for. He doesn't very often have to fight because he's very alpha male, and most of the other males just don't even approach him. The beta males are like, nah, he'll clean my clock. And so this is an energy. Sometimes this can be, this will be someone who's at the top of their game, whatever they do for their career or whatever. They're well respected generally and wise. And quite often this is representing an authority figure. This could be like a Supreme Court judge kind of energy if there is, the Hierophant is maybe working for that, it's that type of energy. So, or these ones are going to the Emperor and saying the Hierophant wants you to take a look at this case. It's that type of energy. Now, sometimes if there's a few kings that show up, or and there's an emperor, it sometimes tells the story of how that king became an emperor. And in tarot, like emperor status is when you have haven't had enough life experience that you have, you understand what it's like to be a king of each of the suits and the responsibilities that go with it. It's a status that you reach through life experience and staying on your destined path, not engaging in energies, like in cheating or any of that, just well on your path. So this energy is here. I feel like this is long time waited. If you've been waiting for some sort of justice to come in, looks like there's something. We have the rebel with the cause. And this is sitting on the King of Wands, so we'll see what this could represent, the King of Wands energy as well. I'm not quite sure as of yet. We have Judgment being called. So definitely there is some court energy in this reading. There's some sort of energy that needs to be dealt with here. The trumpet is blowing and the angel is bringing in the justice from the spiritual realm down to the physical. And the ancestors are literally climbing out of their boxes. They're so excited and happy that judgment has been called and that justice is going to come in. The descendants are waving to them from across the veil here. Sometimes this can represent skeletons coming out of the closet, or it could be even like Pandora's box being open on a more bigger scale reading. And then we have the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups again, it's sitting on this heartache again. So I really feel like you've had some sort of heartache in love, in romance, in the romance department. It's not uncommon. Like we all go through it, it seems, at one point or another. But this is, we have 8 cups here. And you notice here, in between these two and this one, there's a gap caused by possibly this third-party energy. And this is about walking away from the relationship. So with the 8 of Cups is talking about walking away. You're done. Like, I'm done with this. I'm not doing this again. I've put 8 cups of love and energy into this. And I'm just not, I deserve better than this. I'm walking away. Or it could be the person walked away because maybe they were in a third-party relationship and they decided they wanted to be with that person instead. That is causing the heartache here. And we do have the energy again of the new moon or the new moon and the full moon, representing this intuitive time like that. This is an intuitive time when we have that moon. We have the Temperance angel. So Temperance is talking about, very similar to the star energy, putting the foot in the water, and then also bringing unique qualities that you have. That's what this angel is bringing, their own personal alchemy and putting that into the universal pool where they have their left foot grounded. They have flowers growing here to start this beautiful garden. We have the path of glory. This is talking about God at the top with the sun. And this is talking about staying on your destined path, the one that God, the talents God gave you to use them to make the world a more beautiful place, to be the best version that you can be of yourself. Very similar to this, but this is a little bit more galactic energy because it comes from the stars. And it's talking about following your North Star energy. Similar energy though. In the Bible, it says that there's 144,000 angels that God sends down to earth to do this, to make the world more fair and more beautiful and to encourage others to stay on their destined path. And it's also saying, hold your temper. It's talking about character. Temperance is when you don't give in to your temper or to emotions and get all volatile and upset and get taken off your path because of it. A lot of the energy in the last few days has been saying, be really be like the rebel with a cause. You can be passionate about life, but rein in that impulsiveness. This is also talking, I forgot to mention, about the fiery horse energy. And he's been coming out a lot in the last week. And I feel like February 17th, was Chinese New Year, and we moved into the year of the fire horse energy. Very similar to this. This is Sagittarius energy. But it's talking about, with the fire horse energy, there's a warning to be very careful about being too impulsive, being hot-headed, or possibly, it's also talking about this energy. It's very beneficial for getting your enthusiasm up and really setting high goals for yourself. But it's also saying you have to be careful to give yourself enough time to achieve those goals so you're not in this energy of where you're so exhausted that you can't cross the finish line. And then we have the Hermit energy here. So the Hermit is saying, if you're in a relationship for say 8 years and this happens, I mean, it is a lot to get over. And if it's not about that, it could be about having a business partner and it was something you love to do or something you love to be. It's that type of energy, though, of having to walk away from someone or something that you really care about, or they walk away from you, or it gets away from you, and you're in this position where you're mourning and regretting the loss here. The hermit energy is talking about the hermit. It's after a dark night of the soul like this, when you're really sad and you're confused and you don't know what to do. The hermit, he climbs up to a mountain and he goes to the very top because he wants to isolate himself from everyone. And when the light in his lantern gets full of the North Star energy, which is representing this energy, then he comes down from the mountain. His rod is golden and it's saying, okay, this is the action that you want to take. And he asks for advice from God, like what do I do here? Like, judgment's being called. There's a lot happening here to bring justice in. This is what's going on. We begin this with a transition right away, right from the beginning. And then we have the Queen of Swords. So this is talking about the Queen of Swords. She's considered to be the coldest of all the queens in the tarot. But she got that way because she's been there, done that, and has the t-shirt. And she is not in the mood for bullshit. But she is willing to embrace this star energy. And I do feel like this might even be her natural energy here, the Earth Angel, because she's sitting on it. And her head is now above the clouds after asking for direction and God's judgment coming in over whatever has happened here. So I do feel she's warming up, getting, and she has her head above the clouds. So and her right hand is up, with the sword, and she's ready to use it. But if someone comes into her incorrect, she's not interested in any more bullshit in her life. She has clarity of the direction she wants to go in. And I feel like she's saying, I want to be in this energy. I want to be on my destined path. I want to be at peace within myself. I don't think she's saying no to the passion or that kind of energy, but she has learned discernment the hard way. And so this is talking about, she's not going to just take any Tom, Dick, and Harry that comes into her life, and she's not interested in playing games. She's just not. She doesn't want the drama. Like, it's hold the drama. Life's a slice, hold the drama. So this is at the top, but I do feel she would love to have her life be calm and just be having a beautiful life, being victorious in that energy and feeling good about it. We do have when the magician comes out like this, I like to check and see. He's pointing as above, so below. So he's pointing to this heartache and the reason why someone walked away or you walked away, I feel, because of this third party energy. But you got back on your path and you have the discernment, and maybe that's what you needed to learn, is discernment in who you choose to have in your life and who you work with and all of that type of energy. She's at the top of the pyramid here and has learned this discernment. And so, it's saying like the heart can heal, and she can create a beautiful garden. If we come back, that's from below to above, but if we come from above to below, it's talking about getting out of this cold energy back into this natural energy, and happy that she walked away from it, because she's that this might even mean now that she's going to get 2 new cups and to complete this, so that there's 10, and she's going upstream to go get them. God said, there's 2 cups upstream there. Just keep going. Leave these ones behind. There's 2 new ones upstream, 2 cups of love. That quite often represents soulmate energy, someone that won't break your heart, that will be in alignment with what you want, and you can have a beautiful life with them. This is talking transition coming in, and maybe it is the King of Wands coming in, and the Emperor and the Hierophant make sure that justice on the 3rd dimensional plane happens, so that this period of being like, this is to me, it's feeling like the hermit is, sometimes it's time to get out of hermit energy and warm back up and, you know, come back down again. And so I feel like whatever this is happening here, and you might be tired of hearing this, oh yeah, it's happening, it's happening. When, Colette? When? In God's good time. That's all I can say. You know, it's hard to be patient. I hear you, but we don't know the reasons why what's happening is happening a lot of the time. And I feel like God uses our strength to strengthen others. And there's some people maybe around you that are going through similar circumstances, and you are fighting not just for them, for yourself, but for them. You don't know who they are. Maybe you've never met them in your life, but they're out there, and maybe they've been victims of the same type of energy, and you are helping to maybe you're setting an example for them and you don't even know it, of how to just keep going even when you don't feel like keeping on going, you know. That's the, you know, and sometimes you're thinking, I'm not that, like they say God doesn't give you more than you can carry, and you might be saying, I feel like it's too much. But God has way more confidence in you than you do in yourself. Yeah, God's sure that with this transition, you'll be able to anticipate a good outcome. So this is talking about being on the divine path. Keep going. It's saying basically keep going. You deserve to have love in your life. You deserve to have respect. You deserve to have a good life. It's just, you know, and look at, we have temptation coming in here. So this is kind of talking in between this transition and hanging around waiting for shift to change. So let's see, when the devil comes out, it represents temptation. It's manipulative energy. So I do not, you know, I always cover the devil with the next card. I want to see what minion does he send in to do his dirty work for him, or is this an energy of, you know, does God cover it, or what's it about? And so we have abuse of power. So this is talking about abuse of power. Now I'm wondering, when I see that, who is abusing their power here? I hope that it's not the emperor and the king. They've come out together like this a couple of times, so we'll just keep that in mind here and just see where it goes. Because just in the last 2 weeks or so, these two have been coming out together. It doesn't necessarily, they could be working together with the Hierophant, but we've got temptation and abuse of power on this waiting and waiting and waiting. Why is the justice taking so long to come in if they're working on it? It could be because they need to gather more evidence or something. So just remain calm and trust that God, you know, if you don't trust in your own journey, trust that God has your back. And we have the Libra energy. So this has been coming out a lot as well. It's talking about being very like mature enough to make commitments. So it could be saying, when you made this commitment, maybe you weren't prepared. This could even be the King of Pentacles energy, or King of Wands energy. You know, this could be just not having a lot of regret and remorse because they just weren't ready, or you weren't ready. Maybe they were ready and now you are, you know, you aren't. We don't know for sure. I don't like, you know, and I want to make it clear that when I have the signs come out in the horoscope, I'm not talking about individual people. I'm talking about the nature of the sign. Every sign has its strengths and weaknesses. And so this is talking about anticipation versus expectation. So a foolish journey is when you have expectations that things are going to go all your way, and it's going to happen exactly how you want, in exactly the timing you want. That can create a lot of limitations. There could be very good reason why it's taking this long for this to happen. It could, the situation might be way better than you think it is. So just, you know, sometimes you just have to surrender and have faith in your journey. And so if the energies of the horoscope signs come up, and in your own reading, like you might be saying, no, there's a Libra involved, call it. Use your intuition. I just want you to understand that that's not my intention. My intention is that we learn from the energy, because if you ever get your birth chart done, we have all the signs in we have a little bit of everyone in it, and we can learn a lot. I've learned a lot from these readings, doing so many in the last 6 months. I've learned a lot about the nature of people, and I understand the zodiac signs so much better when I look at it from this angle. We have the Leo energy, and that's talking about this leadership. And it's talking again, like, Leo is kind of like the fifth sign, so it's kind of teenage boy energy. It takes a while for someone to be able to be mature enough to be like the emperor and move into this energy. So this could be the sun. The Leo is ruled by the sun, and so the sun's the happiest card in the deck. It represents God's energy, and this is sitting on this energy here, saying, you can have this garden, you can be a leader. Just have patience, because becoming a leader. The thing with the Leo energy is quite often when they recognize that they are leadership material, but they don't have enough confidence yet. So the confidence they lack, they kind of put out, and they appear to be really arrogant instead of confident, until they grow up and they become mature leaders. We also have the Scorpio energy coming in. So this is about Scorpio at its best, is energy that will unite and elevate people. So we could have that with the Hierophant energy. That's good to see on the Hierophant here, elevating other people rather than trying to conquer them. So not fighting for it. Oh, that's the fireworks, Stella. It's okay. There's fireworks, and my cat jumped. She says, I don't like fireworks. We have the cap. That scared me too. Holy. It sounded like gunfire, and then I remembered, oh, it's Canada Day. So we have the Capricorn energy. So this is talking about using your responsibility wisely, being a responsible person. This is talking about having a lot of ambition and seeing the possibilities in the challenges. We have dissension, which is with friends like this, who needs enemies. Unfortunately, when this card comes up, it sometimes means that maybe the third party energy was someone in your inner circle. That could be possible. We have the guiding star. So this is again talking about that North Star energy. To be a superstar, you need to use your intuition as well as your logic. And we have the Hermit, covering the Hermit here. So it's saying, I feel like right now, I hope you can hear me. Man, it sounds like there's, I gotta go and take a look out here. But the Hermit is saying, again, twice here, is saying maybe you've been isolated long enough, and it's time to get down from the top of the mountain and start taking some action towards these goals. Oh, there we go. See, Stella? You're so brave, little kitty. I know. You didn't even run. All right. Yeah, this is in this energy of the Mercury going retrograde. It's a really good time to chill out a little bit, and just remember, don't get there's could be a lot of miscommunication, so don't jump to conclusions really quickly. There's been a lot of energy in this reading also saying don't jump to conclusions, don't get all excited and worked up over things that you don't need to get worked up over. Just remain calm, and it's saying that twice here. We have two hermits, so I do hope this has been beneficial for you. I really thank you for your likes, your comments, your time, your energy. I really appreciate your suggestions for the readings. I thank you very much for that. And I will be back with another reading for you again tomorrow. Bye for now.